Welcome to another edition of Blending the Family, the podcast. I am your host, Tommy Maloney, coming to you, yes, traveling in the car to the job. How are you? This is going to be a recap. Let's talk recap of the weekend and also a little message I want to instill into you as I back up. Crunching of the snow. We got hit with snow on Friday night. That was a 2-hour white knuckle drive home from hockey. We're going to talk about that. First of all, thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for downloading and sharing the podcast. It means so much to me. Bonus daughter Betsy, here is what's going on with her. If you haven't listened to a previous episode of the podcast, Betsy broke her leg, and it is, I don't know if it's rumored, but one of the doctors she saw possibly thought that the leg was broken in 2 places. And if you've ever heard me speak about Betsy, she is an extreme student, and her not being able to get around is devastating to her right now. Thoughts and prayers are needed definitely for that. I want to say young child, but she's 21, so not a young child. Young lady, how's that? Young lady. And hope that she has a speedy recovery. And find out, as I said, today what the next steps are and keep you posted. All right, as I mentioned, hockey. We're going to talk hockey first. Oh, no, let's talk basketball. Bonus daughter number 2, Becca, who I can't call her Becca anymore. She's starting to blossom into a young lady herself. Therefore, she is her proper name, legal name, Rebecca. I call her Rebecca these days. Rebecca apparently was the leading scorer on the varsity basketball team last week, and that was, unfortunately, was an away game, and did not get the opportunity to go to that game. And just like the boy, Connor, Rebecca's basketball season is starting to come to an end. I believe they have 2 more games, and then it's on to the district playoffs. And it's, I really, you talk about things that you hate. For example, I hate mushrooms. I know. You're probably never going to listen to another podcast of mine ever again. But yes, I hate mushrooms. And those are the kinds I hate. The word regret, that is something I hate that word, because you have 2 schools on that. You have people who go, oh, you shouldn't have regrets, or it's okay to have regrets. For me, I just hate the word regret. And my point here is that I really wish that I could clone myself, because there are nights that Rebecca has a basketball game, and then there are nights at the same time Connor has hockey. And it doesn't matter if you have the so-called here's another example. All right. I hate the word step, okay? And in our world, we call we started, but now it's just simply we've dropped even that label. But in our world, as you've just recently heard me, bonus. We replaced the word step with bonus. I hate the word step. Never understood it, and it's just. And I know there's a lot of wonderful people in the blended family space, the divorce space, that use the step as part of their call sign, on their social media. But for me, I've never understood the word step, and I hate the word step. Moving forward, as I said, I really wish I could clone myself, because again, Rebecca has a game on a Friday night, Connor has a game on a Friday night, or practice on a Friday night, and I hate the fact that I can't be there to support both of them at the same time. And I was getting at is it doesn't matter if, all right, so you marry somebody that has kids, they're not your blood relatives, but you really need to support them. And I know there are a lot of really good families out there who do this, but I've also seen cases where because it's not their child, they won't support them, which I find that somewhat fascinating, because you're a family, right? You're a family. You should help each other out, support each other out. Anyway, hockey. We had a hockey weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And Friday night, we lost. But, all right, I am totally 100% biased. Let me grab some coffee. Oh, good coffee. I made coffee last Friday, I normally make it every day. I make it because that's part of my routine at night, is getting the coffee ready to be made the next morning. But the coffee I made last Friday morning tasted bitter. It wasn't really good. Back to hockey. I am very biased, and a lot of the parents on my son's team don't get me wrong. I like the parents on the team, but maybe in their eyes, and I'm speculating, but maybe in their eyes, they think I'm not uppity. I'm trying to think. I don't hang out with majority of the parents, and part of the reason why is, and I don't know how you can relate to this, and I'm just going to tell you how my mind works, which works in a very peculiar way, as you may or may not know. But so my son Connor's a goalie, a hockey goalie, and I've in the past I've tried to. I'm in the construction zone. That's why I sound like. Let me get out of this little construction zone. There you go. In the past, I've tried to hang in the stands with parents, but as a hockey mom or dad, it's a different world, because you always feel that if your son or daughter lets up a goal, you feel all eyes are on you, because, oh my gosh, your child just let up a goal. And I know it's me. I know it's my own insecurity, and I have so many insecurities. But if you have a son or daughter that plays a sport, and for example, you used to play that sport. I used to play hockey. And you hang out with the parents, and you hear them scream, maybe they're screaming at the referee because the ref may or may not made a call, but there was a good reason for it. And in those situations, parents just don't, as the Fresh Prince and Jazzy Jeff would sing, parents just don't understand. And that's part of my frustration is if you don't know the sport, don't start yelling at the official when the official made the right call. Okay, so that's part of it. But the other thing too is what I was saying earlier is you feel all eyes are on you when, again, your son or daughter lets up a goal and it's your fault, and it's really hard to relate that to other parents. Now, there are a couple of parents that have played hockey. They understand, and they understand why I do not hang out with them during the games. It's really it's hard for me because on our team we have 2 goalies, and so the boys rotate every other game. And even on the games that Connor does not play, I still feel pressure because I understand what the other parents are going through when their son, we'll call him Z, is in the net. And you still feel not only their stress, but their stress becomes your stress because both of our kids don't want to give up goals. And it's really hard to explain to the other parents, why you seem so aloof, that you don't sit in the stands with them, that, you find, and when I say you, me, I find other places to stand alone. And this somewhat comes back if you listen to the podcast where I was interviewed by Mr. Jones, I'm blanking on his first name because I screwed up his first name every time I said it. Crud. Anywho, one of the questions he asked me about was, do I have an inner circle? And I responded no, because I really have become more and more of, I guess, a recluse. And it's funny because when I was first dating my wife, Ann, and at that time I was still traveling for work, but on the weekends I did not have Connor. I don't go out. I did not. And I told her on our very first date, oh my gosh, talk about not winning points. On our very first date, we went to coffee, and let me just tell you, we talked for 3 hours. 3 hours. And it was wonderful. Wonderful. But I was such an idiot. Here's a woman who had reached out to me after seeing one of my talks and wanted to ask questions and wanted some advice from the dad's point of view, from the man's point of view. And I was like super excited because she had sent me an email saying she really enjoyed my talk. Can we get together for coffee? And I said yes. And less than 24 hours later, we're sitting having coffee. But the recurring statement for me was, I'm a hermit. I like to be alone. I really don't go out much. I don't hang out with people much. I like being alone. And here's a woman who wanted to get to know me more, and in the back of her mind, why would I waste my time with somebody who doesn't want to really spend time? And the funny thing was, I didn't realize until afterward of what I was saying. And it was funny because we had planned after that first coffee date if we wanted to go out again, and we did. We had I think that was a Thursday. It was Veterans Day. She was off because Anne's a veteran, Army, and we actually talked about going out to dinner. And as much as a hermit I am, and I can be, even to this day, I wanted to get to know her as well. And the point here is, even though I am an introvert, you might not know that, but that's where the hockey parents don't know me, because I don't open up. I really don't open up, and that's my own fault. And the team does these like team lunches and team dinners, and I just don't attend those. I don't like to be around crowds. And again, this is just my opinion. Maybe you might be able to relate to this, is that people think you're kind of a jerk if you don't socialize, if you don't go to company events, work events, maybe a group is going out after work and you're just like, no, I'm good, thanks. Well, what a jerk. There's just some of us that just don't like crowds. We don't like, it's not like we don't like socializing. I have no issues socializing. It's just there's a time and place for it. And this is, again, my wackiness. So anyway, let's get back to hockey. Hockey went not real well. Friday night, again, as I was starting to say, I'm really biased because as somebody who's played hockey, played the position of goalie, I personally think that Connor played very well. And, not to sound like the bragging dad, but I think he does play really well. There are times where I can see, again, from playing the position, I could see the mistakes. But those are things he and I talk about. We want him, we want Connor to improve, so he's playing at, the next level the following season. And it goes with Rebecca, too. There are times where if we have the free time on the weekends that she's over, that we'll go to the gym, we'll go play basketball, and I'll do my best to shoot hoops with her and try to help her, because I enjoy doing that. I enjoy being on the basketball court, and hopefully something I can. I didn't play basketball. I mean, we all shot hoops as kids in my neighborhood, but it comes from the years of coaching hockey. But I can still relate to other sports, and I can see when I guess where improvements needed, or not necessarily. I guess it would be advice. Or recommendations. How's that? Recommendations. So there's that. So that was the recap of the weekend. Hopefully Betsy has a good news at the doctor. Rebecca's finishing up her basketball season. With Connor, we have another tournament here in the middle of the week. Well, not necessarily middle of the week, starting on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, which is President's Day. Now, all right, one of the things I've been thinking about of late is the fact that you meet people, and this is going to relate to parenting as well, but you meet people at work, or you work with people that just like negative Nellies, I think, or Debbie Downers. I am going to admit to you. Is that a police car? Sorry. Squirrel. Debbie Downers. I am that person at work, because I am in a position where I necessarily took the job because I needed the job, needed the money. You know, my story was I was laid off in March of 2017 and was working, trying to become a local business. I wanted to be running their social media, but they didn't see the value in many of the things that I wanted to do. And so that's okay. That's okay. So I took this job, and it's not, I mean, obviously, not every job is a good fit. And in this situation, this is not a good fit. Here's where it goes into the parenting world, and that is, I firmly believe that we have to, you might be rolling your eyes after I say the statement, but I firmly believe that we have to be honest with our kids. Have to. You know, even once Connor asked me, straight out asked me, said, "Dad, have you ever done drugs?" And I was honest with him. I said, "Yeah." And I told him the only drug I had ever done was marijuana. That's it. I was too scared to do anything else. And as my mom would always tell me, you don't have enough money for drugs anyway, which was a funny, but it was realistic going, that's a good point. Why would I want to spend or waste money on drugs when I can use that money for, putting gas in my car or food in my stomach, something like that. But I was very honest with Connor when he asked me, and I firmly believe we need to be honest with our kids. If you're at a job that it just isn't you, it's not, again, a good fit, that negative energy not only is going to spread from you to your coworkers, you'll take that negative energy when you're speaking with your kids. And I've found myself in my own head when, Connor and I, for example, on Wednesdays, I pick him up and I take him on Wednesdays during hockey season, they have conditioning for an hour, and then they have practice right after that. And I take him, and of course, get to his mom's house, puts his hockey gear in the car, sits in the car. Hey, how's your day? Okay, how's yours? Okay. I've never been one of those people that will sit there and talk about work, no matter the job, no matter if I was enjoying the job, or in this situation not. I've never been one of those people who likes to talk about work. Connor's mom, she'd come home when we were married. How was your day? Okay, how was yours? And just would tell me about work. And the point here is, I've always firmly believed that you should leave work at work. Once you walk out of your day job, leave it there. Leave all your work behind. Now, there might be some exciting things. Maybe, your spouse got a promotion, or maybe something really unusual happened at work. That's fine. But I just don't like talking about work, because, again, this is just me and my wacky opinion. If you're at a place that brings negativity, you start talking more and more about negativity to your kids, what kind of impact are you making on their lives? You're just spewing out, these negative thoughts, and I'd rather talk about things positive, and I understand, this is, again, as a parent, I understand that you're going to get the same old answers from your kids. How was your day? Okay. What did you learn? Nothing. But it's about asking different questions. And this can go with your spouse as well. Instead of asking, how was your day? Maybe asking them, who did you talk to today that you had a first-time conversation with? Or with your kids, you can even ask them, who at lunch did you sit with that you hadn't sat with before? Or maybe you talked to one of your fellow students. What did you learn from them today that you did not know before? Get them talking about things in their own world. Same thing with your spouse. Get them talking about things that are unique. Again, you can ask the same, how was your day at work? How was school? And you're going to get the same answers. Now, this somewhat goes back to talking about, if you're at a job, it's not a good fit, you're bringing that negative energy in, and I've really started to recognize it. And as the great Jim Rohn would say, you're not a goose, meaning you can change your direction in life. You're probably, I don't get it. Birds can only fly south for the winter. They can't change their compass. You don't have to keep doing the same old. Find different ways to change your life. It's easier than you think. Okay. For example, I see a lot of postings on Instagram, a lot of motivational stuff, but it's all about taking action. And this is a life lesson I just happened to not learn, but it very much resonated watching my good friend, Mr. Johnny Nomad, aka Johnny's Corner on Instagram. Johnny was doing a live morning show on his way to work, and one of the things he was talking about, again, that really resonated with me, is taking action. I have so many ideas, but until I execute them and put some kind of action behind them, it's nothing. It's like, goal setting or goal achieving. Until you first write it down, put dates next to it, and then move forward and put some kind of momentum in it, then it's not a goal, it's just a dream. Hopefully that makes sense. What I want out of you starting today is, if you're not happy in the situation you're in, aka day job, is there a side business, or what's the new buzzword, side hustle? Is there a side hustle that you can come up with? Is it maybe becoming a Lyft driver, or maybe it's doing something you've always wanted to do. Maybe it's writing. Maybe it's creating your own video show. Maybe it's cooking. One of my dearest friends, Denise, she has, at the end of this month, in February, she's opening up her new spa. And the story with Denise was, she had a location for about, I think Denise was 2-3 years maybe, and the owner of the building went to the tenants, and there was her, and then there was a chiropractor next door, and said, by the way, I'm selling the building, you're going to have to pack up and leave. Well, you can do one of two things. You can fold up your tent and quit, or you can take action and go, all right, time to find a new and better location. And that's what Denise did, and having the grand opening of the Rock Salt Spa in, I think that's technically Centennial, Colorado. Yeah. Anyway, Rock Salt Spa. You can find her on the social, Rock Salt Spa. But she is one of those people that takes action. And I mean, Denise was, at one point, was my boss. She was a training manager. Never did I imagine her owning a spa, but it was, to put it maybe in a religious context, her calling. This is what she wanted to do, and I honestly can say I think about her every day, because on my nightstand next to my bed is a lamp, and it's a rock salt lamp. So take action, okay? Again, you and I might have to change our attitude a bit. If you're in, again, a day job that you quote unquote despise, all right, well, deal with it. And this is where, I've had my struggles of late of being grateful for this job, and it's hard at times, because and again, this is all me, in that fact that I don't feel like I fit. I know this isn't a good fit for me. I know, I just know that I took this job, bottom line, needed the money, okay? What action am I going to take? Well, as I said, I have several ideas. And I'll just throw one of those out there. I'm thinking about starting in April I don't know what to call it. I want to use one of the video platforms. Either continue using Google Hangout, or I can go right through to YouTube or use Zoom for this idea. And the idea is, and I'm sure you've been a part of this or you've seen this, where you have a host and there's a topic and you video chat in, and the host calls on you. So like, I don't know, not necessarily counseling, but my idea is to start off with some friends, give a topic and see how it goes, or maybe even open it up to people I've never met and say, either this month's topic or this week's topic is X. Here's the link. Here's the time. Join me. I don't know. Something I've been really wanting to do is do more video type stuff than podcasting. I read an article a while back why you should do your podcast actually as a live video, because it's raw and it's in the moment, and that's something else I've thought of too, is do once a week or once a month, do one live event. But then it's the ego. Here's my ego going, well, what if nobody's watching? What if you get 0 views on your YouTube, or do a Instagram live and you get nobody to watch? I don't know. Again, that's an ego thing. So I think I'm going to end it right here, coming close to a red light, and maybe maybe it will stay red and I will hit stop. But thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening to this rambling. I know I ramble a lot. Oh man, it's green light. I know I ramble a lot, and I'm trying to, in my mind, go, am I talking too much? And you're probably going, yes you are, Tommy. Cut it down to 5 minutes at the most. But anyway, I hope that you get to see what I'm going through, the struggles I go through, and I want to help you with those struggles by seeing the light, so to speak, of how you can change. We talked today about action and executing, and talking about family and serving your family and connecting with your family. Find, here's something I want to pass on to you. Number one, I'm going to give you a question. And do you believe in regrets? Do you believe that it's okay to have regrets? Do you believe that no, you should never have regrets? Would love to hear your thought on that. Tommy at blendingthefamily.com, Tommy at blendingthefamily.com, or hit me up on the social. You'll find the links in the show notes. And I just, again, I want you to see how your life can be better by taking action. I'm pretty good at helping others, but the problem I have, maybe like you have this situation, or maybe you're in this similar situation where people come to you and they'll say, hey, what do you think about this? And you say, well, let's talk about it, let's work it out, and here's what I think, and blah 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 blah. But you're really bad at taking your own advice. So it's like I was saying earlier about gratitude. I used to, and And I still carry I have a little gratitude book I carry with me, but as of late, it's just been a struggle of things I'm grateful for. And, maybe after talking to you today, once I get to work, I'll sit, because this was my habit when I first started this job, was I would write 3 things I was grateful for, and then I have another journal I carry with me, and then I would journal it all out. And I stopped doing that because I become this Debbie Downer, and I have manifested that Debbie Downerness into not only not wanting to be at the day job, but just somewhat life in general. And I'm not saying, let me clarify this. If you've ever listened to or read any of the things I've done in the past, I've had my battles with depression. And as of late, I don't know, that fog is really, really lifted. I don't find myself in a depressed state as much anymore, and I really can't put my finger on it, other than a little bit of feeling of having some self-worth of bringing a steady paycheck into the household, and that could be part of it as well. I really do sincerely hope that what I'm saying to you will help you, that will one day you and I will be at an event and you'll say, Tommy, I know you think you were just rambling, but I was listening to you. I truly was listening, and something you said resonated with me, and it helped change my life. That's all I ask. That's all I ask. Again, my name's Tommy. Thanks for listening to the podcast. You have a great day.